forget to leave a like and subscribe to Genealogy. Hello there, my YouTube minions. It is I, your unfriendly neighborhood Skeletor, supreme overlord of evil and master of all things 80s. And today I, Skeletor, shall be tickling your nostalgia bone with a reaction to a video titled The Strangest Toys of the 1980s by a channel called Ready for History. And as per usual, if you like his content, leave him a like and a subscribe, or I'll set you all up on a blind date with Evil Lynn's cousin, Evil Lynn.
Oh?
And if you think that's not a big deal, trust me when I tell you, witches be crazy.
No!
How I love the 80s. 'Twas a glorious time. When toy companies had zero oversight, children played with radioactive slime. I've been slime! And manufacturers thought it was totally tubular to cram a functioning cassette player into a creepy teddy bear's gut that sang to your children at night.
Hi, can you and I be friends?
And also, let's not forget how every 80s character had their own wildly inappropriate 1-800 hotline for some reason.
Freddy Krueger is on your phone. Dial this number now. I've got some tales to tell.
So, what kind of cursed plastic nightmare awaits us today? A Barbie with kung fu grip and laser firing jubblies?
Oh, behave. Yeah, baby!
Another stuffed abomination that spews colorful glitter from its crotch, forged on the wrong end of the rainbow, and sold to kids as an adoptable plush spawn? Or maybe it's just Orko's failed brother-in-law, Drunko, the magical barfly.
I've had enough of your jokes.
But whatever it is, now you expect it to be absurdly dangerous and wildly inappropriate for children. But at least modern children, because they don't build children like they did in the 80s anymore, that's for sure.
Quiet, you drunk.
Anyway, enough of all this blathering. Let's watch this thing, shall we?
The 1980s was a great decade to be a kid.
Yes, a wonderful time to be a kid, especially if you're a latchkey kid. No one to tell you what to do or shelter you from any kind of danger. Yes, the 80s was true freedom for children.
Many of the toys have become iconic, and some of them have remained popular ever since they were released.
Not to mention, this one over here. Good old Skeletor, if I didn't say so myself. I think I'm actually more iconic today than I was back in the 80s. You can take memes for that.
However, there were some toys that were just plain weird. In this video, we'll take a closer look at some of this.
I think these are Gobots right here. They were transformable rocks.
Rock, Lord, rocks that come alive. Rock, Lord, powerful living rock.
Listen, you can complain all you want about transformable rocks, which even Masters of the Universe had transformable rocks.
I am stoned.
But at least we evolved from, I think, what was it, the 70s, where they had the pet rock?
Dahl is the man who created the pet rock, an idea, he says, whose time has come.
At least in the 80s, our rocks transformed. Back in the 70s, their rocks just were rocks, And they still made money for some reason.
We mailed our first pet rocks to the stores October 1st, and by Christmas we'll have sold well over 1 million units.
So at least in the 80s, our rocks were at least fun, turned into robots. And we didn't insult kids' intelligence by just selling rocks,
The strangest toys of the 1980s.
I love the sectors.
The Battle of the Sectors begins. Heroic Dargon, leader of the forces of good, is ambushed by evil sectors.
Sectors deserve better. Leave in the comments if you agree with me, Skeletor, that the sectors deserved a better fate. I mean, they did look creepy, I will say, but I still think they were pretty darn cool.
Manglors were first released in 1984 by the Ideal Toy Company. The original line consisted of Manglord, Manglosaurus, and Manglodactyl.
They were born in Bangladesh.
These action figures were a little strange, but they got even more weird in 1985 when
this creepy kid opened them up and suddenly had a thirst for blood. I mean, look at this kid. If I ever gave my child a toy, and I never would, because I probably would never have a child, but hypothetically, if I did, and he gave me this creepy, sadistic face, you could bet your ass that that toy would go straight back to the store, you know? Why are you returning this toy, sir? Have you seen the look my son made when he opened this up? That's a look I never want to see him make. That's a Jeffrey Dahmer look.
When the second wave of figures were released in plastic eggs. Some of the new characters were Manglo Dragon, Manglizard, and Manglo Demon.
Toy executives are like, what should we call this thing? I don't know. They're pretty fun to mangle. Let's call them Manglors. Sure, why not? Kids love to mangle their toys. Let's give them an excuse to.
The figures had no joints, but they were flexible, sticky, and squishy.
Oh, yes. You know, it's funny because until this moment here, I did not remember these toys. But now that he pulled off the arm, I actually remember it now.
Throughout time, people have asked, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Maybe it was a Manglor, like Manglo Demon.
Yes, you were supposed to mangle them. These were toys for that kid Sid from Toy Story. You don't give those type of kids good toys. You give them Manglors, you know, to take out all their prepubescent frustration out on. We keep buying him good toys, and he keeps mangling them. So we got these Manglors.
You can stretch them, squash them, take them apart.
Here, kid, go nuts.
They were really disappointed because they weren't painted and they couldn't stand on their own. If that doesn't sound bad enough, then get a load of this.
Well, it's kind of hard to get something to stand alone when their purpose is to be destroyed. I think that's sort of the problem with these toys. See, kids don't want to destroy toys that are meant to be destroyed. They want to destroy toys that are supposed to be pristine and well kept. There's no fun in putting explosives on toys that are meant to be exploded.
Oh, well.
These kids are rebels without a clue. They have an appetite for destruction.
You and I can have a cookout later.
And the Manglors just weren't good enough.
The commercials of the time led children to believe that they could rip their toys apart and then put them back together again.
Teaching kids all the right lessons. Why did you rip your sister's arm off? But I was taught that you can just rip off arms and put them back. I learned that from Manglors and Wile E. Coyote cartoons. We need to get this kid to watch Short Circuit and quick. No disassemble. No disassemble, Johnny Five.
No disassemble.
Disassemble. Dead.
So play nice.
This was impossible, and kids were left with mangled Manglors and tears.
So my guess is that they didn't get back together quite as easily as the commercials would have you believe then, right?
Take them apart. They'll return almost like new to their original forms.
It's busted.
In 1984, Galoob came out with a toy line called Infaceables, Mystery Warriors of Change.
What the hell? What kind of cursed abomination is this?
What the hell are you?
Okay, at first I didn't recognize the last toy line, but this one, I have no clue about this at all.
Imagine mystic warriors of change. They are infaceable.
Each character's face gradually changed from human to animalistic with the use of a vacuum.
What? Vacuum's not included.
It's working.
And if you didn't have a vacuum, you just had to suck really hard on your toy. And all these kids are just sucking the faces of the toy. Parents are thinking there's something wrong with my kid. I thought he grew out of his pacifier a long time ago. Now he's just trying to play with his new toy.
Definitely sounds like some sucky toys.
Pardon the pun.
Some of the good guys were named Sphinx, Robash, Iron Lion, and War Dog. The bad guys were Tuscus, Torto the Claw, and Timbo.
He said 3 names, but there's 4 characters here. Because I'm interested in this skeleton character here. He only mentioned 3 names.
Infaceables. Iron Lion. Infaceables. And Robash.
Whatever.
At least they were creative.
I don't understand. Are they Infaceables because they have no face until they get suctioned by a vacuum and suddenly they have a face?
Infaceable. Where you could command the powers of change.
They are the Faceables. The Infaceables would imply they can't have a face. Faceables means that you can give them one. False advertising here.
Imagine mystic warriors of change. They are infaceable. Like a Galoob.
Barnyard Commandos was a series of figures that was released in 1989 by the Playmates Company.
I remember this one.
Barnyard Commandos, Barnyard Commandos, Barnyard Commandos.
This was like that part of the 80s going into the 90s where animals really did kind of take over from human characters. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of changed the game, and it became more fashionable to have animals become your main protagonists. Yeah, it was like a new animal revolution at the time. Siamese pizza cats.
Who do you call when you want some pepperoni? Samurai pizza cat.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous.
You know, a bunch of those cartoons.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Company. The toy line had an interesting concept with the story behind the toys. Basically, they were farm animals that ate some radioactive material.
It's always radioactive goo. That was the excuse for everything. See, back in the old cartoons in the 80s, like Master of the Universe, we didn't need explanations like radioactive goo. That's another thing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did.
We're crawling into a strange glowing ooze.
Everything had to be a radioactive thing. Well, Spider-Man, I guess, started with a radioactive spider.
Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood.
But he never turned into any kind of spider, just gave him powers of a spider.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
You gotta mutate everything.
No, we're hideously deformed.
Back in the late 80s, early 90s, being toxic was cool.
Had no friends, no girls that hugged me till I got radioactive ugly. Toxic Crusaders.
Unlike today, toxic is a bad thing. I mean, if you said toxic masculinity in the 1980s, that'd be a term of endearment, you know? Toxic Avenger. Yes, that's right. I am toxic. And radioactive.
Materials, and they developed superpowers.
Okay, so radioactive goo gave these barnyard animals super technology? Like that crazy jet accessory on that, what was that, pig or something? This sheepy or whatever this is. So radioactive goo gave him missiles and a crazy jet helmet thing.
Pilot Fluff Henderson is here the ramjet.
Ah, the nonsense of the 80s. How I miss you.
And they developed superpowers. They then donned military equipment and went to war with each other.
Who gave them this military equipment? Only in America do we give our barnyard animals military-grade equipment because they display radioactive toxic abilities. Hilarious.
The two sides feuding were the Rams, or Rebel Army of Military Sheep, and the Porks, or Platoon of Rebel Killer Swine.
Sheep versus the pigs.
The Porks are on the move, always ready to provoke their sheepish opponents.
The fight for the ages.
Like many toys of the 80s, there was also an animated series. However, neither the non-posable action figures or the cartoon ever became successful.
Gee, I wonder why. With a brilliant concept like the radioactive pigs versus radioactive sheep, how could it not?
Come on, you guys.
Maybe if it had like a video game associated with it, like Angry Birds. Where's the Angry Birds versus the pigs, right?
Take that, porkers!
What the? Perhaps then it would have been more successful.
There is a difference.
No video game means no success.
In 1988, Mattel released a line of action figures known as Food Fighters.
Oh my god. Again, I remember the last one. I don't remember this one.
Food fight! Food fighters!
But it does not surprise me. Hey kids, why play with your real food when you could buy pretend food to play with?
What's going on? Joy's playing with this food again, Mom.
Food fighters!
And there were two sides at war with each other.
There was always that war too, right? You couldn't even have something that made sense too, like the vegetables versus the meat, right? You got hamburgers versus the hot dogs.
Yo, Burgundy, chew on this.
We divide our condiments equally. We get the relish and we get the ketchup. You get the mustard and the mayo.
You'll never cut the mustard, mean winner!
Fight for the ages.
The Kitchen Commandos were the good guys, and they fought against the Refrigerator Rejects, who were the bad guys.
The Refrigerator Rejects? I gotta look into this toy. It seems extremely hilarious. Yeah. You're from the fridge, you freak. Well, at least we don't spoil like you, Kitchen Commandos.
Your history, Private Pizza. Pow!
They were all good old-fashioned American junk food with attitudes.
Really? I mean, this is something I'd expect like Burger King or McDonald's to come up with. You know, they're the Nugget Buddies.
Now there are 10 McNugget Buddy toys you can collect.
Hamburglar.
Today's subject, the Hamburglar.
Sailor!
You know, that I can understand, but just some random toy line making food for you to play with?
I love corny jokes.
You can't beat them.
Some of the character names were Major Munch, Brigadier General.
I mean, it's not unheard of. Mr. Potato Head was like the first food toy line, right?
Mr. Potato Head and his bucket of parts, put them all together, then take them all apart.
Ages 3 and up. It's on my box.
Even the original Mr. Potato Head was a real potato.
Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head with their own cars and trailers. That's what's new.
You have to buy the accessories and put them on the potato itself.
Take any fruit or vegetable. Just stick in eyes, then ears, and then the mouth.
And for moms who know just how bad a potato smells when it rots, you know?
You all take stupid pills this morning?
You have this really horrible smell in your kid's bedroom, like, what the hell smells like this? And didn't I tell you to wash? Then you go in the kid's toy box and you see rotten potato just oozing that horrible, wretched stench on all of his other toys.
You're not turning me into a mashed potato.
They complain to the toy company like, hey, this has to stop. You can't have kids playing with spoiled vegetables. And all right, we'll make a fake potato.
You uncultured swine.
You can play with that one.
Private Pizza, Short Stack, and Fat French.
Fat French. That seems mildly racist.
Apparently, these food fighters had a short shelf life and they didn't last long on the market.
I can't believe why not. Kids not wanting to play with food that fight each other? Crazy to think.
And your lunch. Fire!
Just amazing how 80s tried everything and anything. That's what I love about the 80s. It doesn't matter how absurd the idea. They try it. If it fails, oh well, move on.
Breath Blasters was released by Axelon, and they were little rubber toys about 5 inches tall that not only looked bad, but also smelled bad.
I couldn't imagine why parents wouldn't want to buy their kids these toys.
If you squeezed them, then they would release a puff of air that smelt like garbage, vomit, or dead fish.
I remember this commercial. This poor kid in this commercial got traumatized.
Take a whiff of this.
Breath Blaster.
This commercial was the one solely responsible for the term toxic masculinity. You're to blame for this.
How dare you?
The character names pretty well said it all. George Garbage Mouth, Mackerel Mouth, Miss Morning Breath.
Miss Morning Breath. Hey, that was Evelyn's nickname in school. Then she became Evelyn afterwards, but she was Miss Evil Breath first.
You'll pay for that!
Victor Vomit, Dog Breath, and Death Breath.
Dog Breath, that's Beastman's nickname right now.
No.
With all those varieties, you're sure to find that perfect scent to impress that special person. The company soon fell under a stink of its own. They claimed the fumes that the toys were emitting were non-toxic.
Then kids started getting brain damage left, right, and center, and we have no clue why.
They were indeed toxic. This led to the dangerous toys being banned and all production was ceased.
This looks like later age Lucille Ball toy. Ricky!
Rude Ralph was released in 1986 by Axelon, which were the same makers of the Breath Blasters.
I don't get it. Just because he's rude does not mean he has to have an eye popping out of his head.
What is it?
I'm rude and I don't got any eye popping out of my head anymore.
The company was certainly trying to ride the trend of gross toys and products that peaked in the mid-1980s.
Yeah, I think it started with like the Garbage Pail Kids, you know?
Starring Nat the Messy Tessie.
Which was a spoof off of the Cabbage Patch toys, right?
Build a family of love with Cabbage Patch Kids.
They're like, hey, kids like the gnarly, disgusting things. Again, this was a wave that rode from late 80s into the 90s.
Ralph was a large-sized head that seemed to be modeled after Madball's. However, he was a bit different. If you pulled his eyeball, he would play one of 4 unique and gross sounds, which could be farting and gagging.
This poor kid's getting tortured here with all these disgusting toys. Why are you picking on this poor little girl? Leave her alone.
What next?
E.T. was a Steven Spielberg movie that was released in 1982, and it tells the story of an alien that is stranded on Earth. A young boy befriends the alien and helps to return him to his home planet.
Thanks. I thought this was about toys, not a movie review, but thanks for the update.
One of the most iconic scenes of the entire movie
was when E.T. gave Elliot an anal probe. Ouch!
Might as well get it over with. Stop. We have reached the limits of what rectal probing can teach us.
The movie came when E.T.'s finger lit up. The good folks at the company Knickerbocker had hopes of capitalizing on that iconic scene by releasing one of the worst toys
I hope this isn't going where I think it's going.
Ever made.
It is going there! No! What is this? What is this? What am I looking at here?
But it looks like a giant
Dick, take a look out of starboard.
God, it looks like a huge...
Pecker! That's not a woodpecker. It looks like someone's...
Private!
The E.T. finger was released in 1982, and it just looks awful.
Knickerbocker, really? Who approved of this toy? Someone said, hey, how about we release a giant finger toy that looks suspiciously like...
Wang! Pay attention.
I don't even want to say it.
This strange toy eventually was recalled because parents everywhere realized what this resembled.
Look, where there's smoke, there's fire. You just pull that glowing finger thing out for anyone, huh?
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Ring Raiders was a toy line that came out from Matchbox in 1989. These small plastic toy planes were oddly mounted on plastic rings, which allowed the aircraft to have a small degree of mobility.
I think I would have really liked playing with this toy when I was a kid. I mean, that is, if I played with toys when I was a kid. That's a big hypothetical, as I don't even remember my childhood. Did I even have one?
So bad. Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember. But if I did have a childhood, yeah, I can totally see myself playing with this. And perhaps that E.T. toy as well. For different reasons.
Baby wants more.
There were a dozen packs released, which consisted of 6 from the Ring Raiders and 6 from the Skull Squadron. An animated series was released at the same time, but it had a premise that was quite different. It was set in the future, which was 1998 at the time, as the world was about to embark on a cataclysmic war.
The sheep versus the pigs. No need for planes in that war.
The characters would use time travel to attempt to seize power. The show used the catchphrase, "The command is in my hand."
The command is in your hand.
Also the catchphrase for that E.T. toy as well. No, I'm not going to let that E.T. toy go. Never let them forget that.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
And at that point, the characters would use their rings to make them more powerful.
Reason why they were taking up the shelves is probably because the kids probably had like a bunch of these rings, brought them to school, and used them as brass knuckles, you know, in fist fights. Wings stuck to kids' eyelashes. Yeah, what happened? Billy and his Wing Raiders had the power in his hand. Take them off the shelves.
Apparently those were mood rings because the series and the toy line only lasted for about 6 months.
Because kids lost eyes, that's why.
Zany Zappers became popular in the early 80s and they were released by Lakeside. They were really nothing more than a pair of sunglasses with an LED in each lens. The lights were powered by a 9-volt battery on a wire that was attached to the sunglasses, and
which you had to wrap around your head like a head bandana. Made kids foggy in the brain. That kids were probably told, these glasses give your eyes superpowers. You can see through anything. Kids would be like, ooh, they're like X-ray glasses. Tell the teachers, I can see your undies.
Boy, you got a lot of pepperoni in your bread.
Teachers are like, all right, give me those. I'm not wearing the good undies today. I'm not sure if you're lying or not, but I can't afford to find out. So give me that toy. Put it in my drawer.
you could hide it in your pocket. Not only could you shock your grandparents with the sight of these when they lit up, but you could also engage in light fights with your friends.
What? Light fights? How does that work? First of all, shock your grandparents? These were the 80s. Your grandparents were in wars. I doubt a little light in the eyes could shock them.
I'm not sure how you determine who the winner is, though.
The one who doesn't go blind wins. Or doesn't have an epileptic seizure. Who can cause an epileptic seizure first? And they just flash rapidly.
All right.
You lose, Jimmy. Ma! It happened to Jim again. What did I tell you about playing with those toys?
Apparently, these were the things to have if you wanted to show off your latest flashy dance moves.
What? I think those kids' heads would have knocked. They couldn't see what they were doing. Just boop, knock their heads together. I'll take those wretched glasses.
Flash on Zany Zappers, glasses that you wear. Blink and blink and flash your eyes. Give your pals a big surprise.
Zany Zappers are fun.
In 1986, Mattel came out with a new toy line that was aimed at little girls. They were Barbie-like, only their bodies were covered with back metal.
What? Robo Barbie, every girl's dream. Replace your whole body with metal.
Shiny pink skin, lacy space wear.
But when you grow up, you'll be replacing your body with plastic. So maybe they were ahead of their time.
Everything was back metal except for their heads, which had a different makeup and hair color on each doll. The line consisted of 4 female dolls and 1 male doll, and they were all aliens from the planet Shimmeron.
Let me know in the comments, if you're a girl growing up in the 80s, did you play with these toys?
The most space-age girl around.
I just have a hard time believing that girls want to be aliens from the planet Shimmeron, you know?
Now we're ready for your welcome to Earth party.
I mean, I feel like girls and boys play with toys differently. There was like a study that said that girls see themselves in the toy, whereas boys tend to acclimatize to the toy itself, meaning that a girl won't play with She-Ra, but seeing themselves as the main hero, where boys just played with He-Man and pretended they were He-Man. If that's true, then I don't see girls saying, I want to pretend I'm an alien from Shimmeron. You know?
Petra, I'd love to fix your sparkling hair.
I can see why they didn't succeed.
I think it's safe to say that Mattel was spaced out on these.
I mean, they seemed like a similar toy to the Silverhawks, right? They all had metallic bodies and human-like faces, so...
Armor? That's my body.
What?
Partly metal, partly real.
Well, so how do we...
Just pound on my crotch with this ball-peen hammer.
I think it would be more successful for boys.
Do you hear that?
The Blackstar toy line debuted in the US in 1983.
Pardon me, Blackstar wasn't a poor toy, and I think it was a popular toy.
It's Blackstar, defender of right. He's ready to fight.
I mean, not as popular as maybe He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, but I don't think it was a failure, right?
No.
I mean, hell, even I have these figures here. They could have been that bad. Well, not me. These are Shane's collections. But, you know, I see them quite often.
From Gloob, and it was based on the 13-episode animated series from 1981.
See, mine does that too. This one doesn't spark up anymore.
Laser light, laser light.
Maybe these toys were not successful because the sparks were actually ignited and became flames. You know, parents were using these to light their cigarettes. Blasted Blackheart doesn't work. He's out of lighter fluid.
Gloob was hoping to capitalize on the success that He-Man was having.
John Blackstar, astronaut, is swept through a black hole into an ancient alien universe. I am John Blackstar.
These fantasy toys were sort of a similar concept with action figures, dragons, and an ice castle. However, there was also a spaceship with rocket launchers. These toys never had the success that they had hoped for.
I mean, okay, they might not have been successful, but I wouldn't consider them strange, you know?
Just doesn't give up.
I mean, the other toys up to this point I do consider strange, but Blackstar, yeah, maybe not as successful as Masters of the Universe was, but I don't consider them to be strange toys. The strangest part is the company that made them, Galoo.
It's Blackstar!
From Galoo.
That name is strange.
Mattel came out with an interesting toy line in 1989 called Computer Warriors. The plot behind the toys explained a secret government computer that sends out evil troops.
I think they do that today. Only it's on your cell phone. The invisible spies in your cell phone. The idea came from the 80s.
These troops hide unnoticed in everyday objects to take over the world.
No, my Pepsi can's been infiltrated. Change to Coke, quick.
Hiding in a Pepsi can, the Computer Warriors fight back.
That's why Pepsi lost the Cola Wars.
This is a classic confrontation. Here's the delivery.
The infected tab right away.
The Computer Warriors were made by the government to fight these bad troops. The premise of this toy line sounds great, but there never was an anime.
No, doesn't even sound great.
Evil viruses are attacking the world's computers, and the computer warriors have been generated to stop them.
Yeah!
Computer warriors, expect the unexpected.
Sounds frightening.
Animated series to help it out. They created a pilot episode, but it ended there. Ultimately, the toy line failed to achieve success in the market.
I mean, again, another failure of a toy line, but I don't consider this any weirder than Transformers, right? Same kind of principle, except for instead of alien race masquerading as, cars and trucks and things, you got your government spying on you.
Computer warriors convert a clock into a digital laser blaster and wipe out the virus air attack.
Pretending to be the thing you have in your bedroom, What kid wouldn't want to go to bed thinking that a bunch of secret soldiers are hiding away in their bedroom? Is this an eraser? Or is this thing gonna kill me in my sleep?
A computer and pencil sharpener available fall 1990, only from Mattel.
I don't know. Just throw it all away.
Like we discussed earlier, the mid-80s was all about gross toys and products. The Garbage Pail Kids cards and Mad Balls had set the standard. In 1986, Playtime Products released Skateboard Smackups. These controversial figures,
I kind of remember these. They were like three-dimensional versions of Garbage Pail Kids.
Were kids that had gotten into all sorts of mishaps while skateboarding. There were 12 figures that were released with names like Sammy Stop Sign, Wally Wallbanger, Patty Plate Glass.
Also a cautionary tale for your kids who want to be professional skateboarders.
In the interest of safety, we present the gnarlier mishaps of the unfortunate skateboarder.
You buy these toys for your kids to dissuade them, Johnny, I know you want to be a skateboarder, but here's some toys to dissuade you. I don't want to play with these. They give me nightmares, Mom. You're going to play with these toys whether you like them or not.
Amy Asphalt and Timmy Tire Track.
Timmy Tire Track. Yep, this has definitely got to be some kind of cautionary tale toy. We buy these toys to dissuade our kids, who may end up one day being like Timmy Tire Track.
The series outraged parents of the time, and many groups...
Outraged parents? The parents should actually like these toys. The parents failed on that one.
Groups banned the toys. These figures skated off to obscurity shortly after.
Unless the kids were like, I want to be like Timmy the Tire Track guy or whatever. They were trying to emulate these kids. Hey, Mom, look, my face goes into the glass like this with my skateboard. No! Our kids are trying to emulate Betty Bumpers.
Truly gross ways to have a smack-up.
We gotta get rid of these toys.
If you were around in the 80s, then I'm sure you'll remember all the craze with Gobots and Transformers. But how about converters?
Right, everyone, these are the converters from Grandstand. It's up to us to save the Earth from this evil force. First,
converters. Your television converter transforms and becomes a robot and then disappears in your house where you can't find it, just to piss off and anger your father. Where's the converters? I don't know, Dad. Secretly, you know.
These were a line of toys that could transform from a robot into birds, bats, and insects.
How unique a concept! It would have been better if it transformed from a bird to your remote control. Just to take off your father? That might have been a better concept. Actual remote controls that work for your TV. But you can hide them by transforming them into like a mug or something, Where the hell is my converter? You're holding the mug going, I don't know, Dad. It was here a minute ago.
And remember,
toy designed solely to take off your father.
The converters licensed some of their toy designs from Bandai, which is what Transformers did. These converters were featured in a 1985 JCPenney's Christmas catalog. It's safe to say that these didn't convert into great sales.
How many times are they going to rip off Robotech and not give Robotech its due?
Transform and attack. Robotech.
First with Jetfire and now Maloroid here? Like, at least Jetfire has a cool name. Maloroid or Maladroid? Gundam got off easy, I think.
Converters from Grandstand.
Speaking of robots and converting, how about another one from Bandai?
Why is this robot crying? Is he crying because he was a failure? You're not like Robbie the robot. He was successful.
Rob, the extraordinary video robot, batteries not included.
I called the God Jesus robot.
God Jesus robot? How sacrilegious can you get there?
The path to robot heaven lies here in the Good Book 3.0.
This was released in 1984, and it was sort of a fortune-telling toy, similar to the Magic 8-Ball.
Fortune-telling? I mean, at least if it gave prayer, it would make some sense, right?
Do you accept the principles of robotology on pain of eternal damnation in robot hell?
If you were really religious, you could buy it, put it by your kid's bedside, it just reads passages from the Bible to your kid in his sleep.
Hey, do I preach to you when you're lying stoned in the gutter?
At least that could make some sense, but telling the future? That's just sacrilegious.
The difference between the two is that the God Jesus robot had definite answers of yes or no. There were no maybes.
God Jesus doesn't deal in maybes.
If you touched the robot, it would move a few steps forward.
Or did you just move back? I wonder.
Nod its head and await your question. The robot would then answer your question with,
I want this toy now, just to have. It could be a hell of a fun sidekick for my channel, Skeletor and God Jesus Robot, together to conquer the world.
Any more ridiculous ideas?
with a simple nod of its head and step back into its original position. The God Jesus robot certainly didn't look holy when its eyes lit up in red.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Why would you make a God Jesus robot with red demonic eyes?
Hallelujah!
At least make it blue, something angelic or yellow, But no, you got this horrible red demonic eyes. This God Jesus robot was secretly forged by the devil.
And it's gonna download you straight to robot hell.
Straight to hell.
The 1980s certainly saw its share of strange and weird toys. I hope you enjoyed this little trip into the
Inhumanoids. Actually, I really like the Inhumanoids toy line. Shinny doesn't have any, but he should start collecting it, though.
Into the past, and if you can think of any others that we missed, feel free to leave a comment below and let us know.
Look at E.T. He's like, I'm going to get that finger and surprise Elliot with it later.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
As always, thank you so much for watching.
Alright! Yes! Do let me know in the comments, what toy did you play with when you were a kid that left you scarred as a child? I don't think any kid in the 80s took any of this stuff too seriously. Seemed like parents were more worried than the kids were. But I will say that E.T. toy was the worst of the bunch. Well, I don't know. It's a toss-up between that E.T. finger and that cursed God Jesus robot,
Can I get an amen?
I'll take a 3-man. Holla!
Not sure which one's worse. Let me know in the comments which of these toys you felt was the worst one. Anyway, if you like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Shaneology, or else I'll give E.T. to give you an ouchie. Until next time.